You write a lot or talk a lot about putting moral values into young people. How do we do this in a world in which you have so many dysfunctional families, living some of them in dysfunctional neighborhoods? Can you do it through religious organizations? How can we use religion in order to increase the moral standing of people?
Well, as I learned from Roswell Jackson and Religion 301 at Morehouse, religion is a way of
Sanford,
life.
I'm amazed at your ability to recall these names and dates and course numbers. For me, it's just, anyway, I can't do it.
Well, Reverend Jackson said that religion is a way of life, and indeed it is. It's what's important to you, how you live. And we've got to set examples for young people, but we also have to put some markers before them. I grew up in an era when it was common to have prayer in schools. It was the thing. Every day that I went to school for 12 years, it was the Lord's Prayer, the 23rd Psalm, the Pledge of the Flag, and My Country 'Tis of Thee, from first grade through 12th grade. There were lots of kids in my class who didn't go to church, but they knew the Lord's Prayer and the 23rd Psalm. And I'm sure at some point in their lives, they drew upon that. I was fortunate to grow up in the church from as far back as I can remember. And I seriously studied my Sunday school lessons and listened to that, and that became a part of my moral being. As I joined the Boy Scouts and learned the Scout oath and law and promise and slogan and motto, those things became a part of my life. And they were able to help me, I think, to negotiate and make choices that many young people today are not able to make in terms of deciding right from wrong.
But at the same time, I'll bet that among your classmates, there were those who did come from church-going families, who went to church every Sunday, who heard the same pledge and psalm that you did every day in school, but whose lives nonetheless took a very different turn.
That is probably true, but I would think that if you looked at it statistically, probably more took the right turn than the wrong turn, and probably it had to do with the reinforcement that they were able to get in the public schools and in the community in terms of the moral standards that we seek.
But we're very conscious as a nation to separate church from state, which is why we have disputes today over prayer in the schools. How can we respect this division and yet still inculcate in people this sense of moral responsibility that you took from this experience?
America's a pluralistic society. Just as students are taught to listen when someone else is talking, they should be taught at an early age to respect the differences in the human family, that there are differences in religion, there are differences in national origin, there are differences in ethnic background. I can remember going to school with some Catholics in my class. I thought it was strange that every Friday they couldn't eat meat. That their custom was they had to have fish, and of course fish was served in the cafeteria. And before they ate, they would cross themselves. And I mean, it was something different, but it was something to which I was exposed. And I had a classmate who died, who was burned in 7th grade. And all of us in the class went to her rosary. She was Catholic. So I sat there through the rosary and learned the Hail Mary because it was repeated so many times. And I still remember it today from that 7th grade encounter at her rosary service the night before her funeral. I just believe that tolerance should be taught, and it should be respected. And I think that every student, if there's prayer in school, that every student should have, whatever their persuasion is, even if they're atheists, should have their opportunity to expose their beliefs or their faith to the other students. And I think that it would teach tolerance at a level that would carry on through their adult lives, and of course it would eliminate a lot of the preconceived prejudices that people have simply because they're not familiar with something that's different.